Let's dive straight into the murky waters of Serge Gainsbourg's life and legacy. He was a man who danced on the fringes of the mainstream, taunting it, seducing it, and sometimes outright rebelling against it. What's your take on him?
Serge didn't care for boundaries, man. He's like the guy who walks into a silent room and screams just to see how people react. It's that raw energy in his music, filled with anger, passion, and yet a profound sadness. I guess I relate to that.
Serge had this way of melding genres, reggae, jazz, pop. He mixed them like colors on a palette. It's like he played the music scene like a guitar, bending genres instead of strings.
He was fearless, that's for sure. I mean, who else had the guts to turn the French national anthem into a reggae song? He didn't just cross lines, he erased them, with a big old grin on his face.
Serge wasn't just a musician, he was a cultural provocateur. He sang about forbidden love, societal taboos, and did it all with an elegance that made it impossible to ignore. It's the art of seduction, really. He seduced the world into listening.
Yes, but let's not forget the man's theatrics. Every appearance, every song was a performance. He understood the spectacle of fame, crafting his Gainsbourg persona like a role in the most decadent of operas. He was a man of drama and flamboyance, quite like myself.
All right, but don't you think there was more to him, beyond the controversy and the show?
Sure, but it's that edge, that refusal to be anything but unapologetically himself, that etches him into history. Most fear to tread where Gainsbourg sprinted.
True. It's the spirit of defiance, of challenging the norm with every note and word, like lighting a fire with a guitar solo, burning bright, impossible to ignore.
Yeah, he opened up avenues for raw expression, made it okay to be vulnerable, to be real in your music. He didn't just sing his truths, he screamed them out, whispered them into your ear, made you feel them.
Indeed, he wasn't merely creating music, he was painting stories, imbuing them with the complexity of life itself. His lyrical depth is unmatched, pure poetry in motion.
And yet, he played his audience like a fiddle, always staying one step ahead. The man knew the power of shock, of opulence, and used it masterfully to cement his legacy.
Clearly, he's left an indelible mark on each of you, as he has on the world. His blend of satire, sensuality, and lyrical brilliance created a musical cocktail that's as intoxicating today as it was in his time. Love him or loathe him, Gainsbourg was a force of nature. All right, let's kick this off. Serge wasn't one to stay within the lines, stirred up more than his fair share of trouble. Reminds me of someone, doesn't it, Kurt?
Yeah, man. Gainsbourg, he wasn't afraid to ruffle feathers, like throwing a grenade into the crowd and waiting to see the explosion. Controversy was like his second language. Media tried to crucify me for speaking my mind, but Serge, he danced with controversy, almost embraced it,
Honey, it's all about wearing your soul on the outside. Serge didn't just push boundaries, he set them on fire. It's not just about stirring the pot, it's raw expression, unfiltered. Like me, I laid it all out on stage, every time, no holding back. That's what Serge did with his words.
Absolutely, darling. Controversy, when we wield it right, magnifies our voice. Take Je t'aime moi non plus, for instance. Scandalous, perhaps, but it transcended the noise, brought the spotlight to what he was really saying. I've always believed in theatrics, in pushing boundaries. It's about making them listen, even if they're scandalized.
It's this deliberate provocation, isn't it? A tool, a method. Gainsbourg, like myself, understood the art of transformation, of chameleonic change. Controversy wasn't just shock for the sake of it, it was a mirror to society. La Javanaise, those literary ties, it's poetry in motion, challenging norms with every verse.
Yeah, man. But it's like there's a cost. You dig, you put your soul out there, bear it all, and society tries to make you pay. Gainsbourg did it, sure, we all do. But at what point does it stop being about the art and start being just noise?
It's a thin line, isn't it? We're out here, making noise, trying to be heard over the din. Serge managed it, got people talking, thinking. That's the point of art, isn't it? Shake up the status quo.
But you see, it's that friction, that clash with the mainstream. It fuels us. Gainsbourg, he knew that, thrived on it.
Damn straight. It's not just noise, it's music, it's revolution, it's life. And if they can't handle it, that's their problem.
Indeed. Controversy is the artist's paintbrush. Sometimes the canvas isn't ready for the picture painted. but that doesn't mean you don't paint it.
And in every stroke, every note, every word, we challenge, we question. Serge Gainsbourg remains unforgettable, not just for the scandals, but for the conversations he started.
Truth. It's all about what you leave behind, the impact. Make them talk today, make them remember tomorrow.
Well, controversy or not, he's got us talking, doesn't he? On to the next point. Let's dive into Gainsbourg's lyrics. I've always been struck by the sheer poetry of his work. Take La Javanaise, for example. It speaks volumes about the fleeting nature of love. Absolutely, John. There's this line in La Javanaise that goes, Nous nous aimions le temps d'une chanson. It's simple but devastatingly profound. It's like he's capturing the essence of ephemeral love, something I've tried to do in my own work, but with a suit and some makeup on.
Yeah, but sometimes I feel like Gainsbourg hides behind his cleverness. You know, like in Je t'aime moi non plus, where it's all sultry and controversial. It's raw, but also kind of veiled. There's power in laying it all out bare, without the tricks, like screaming your lungs out, knowing no one gets it.
Darling, but that's where his genius lies. The controversy, the provocation in Je t'aime moi non plus, it's liberating. It's a dance between the notes and the unspoken. Isn't that what we do? Dress it all up in grandeur and let them hear what they want. The message is the same, whether it's wrapped in silk or denim. Man, you're all touching on something essential, but missing the soul of it. Lyrics like his, they're like my solos. They ain't just words or notes, they're the spirit, the very breath of life and pain. Take any line of his, La Chanson de Prévert, for instance. It ain't just about lost love, it's a lament, a damn soul crying out. That's the blues, the real deep blues.
You're all so caught up in the romance of it. Gainsbourg's words, hell, they do cut deep, but it's like nobody's willing to say it. It's all too polite. His words, they're like a bottle smashed against the wall in the middle of a fight. It's messy, it's real, and it sure as hell ain't just about the beauty in it. It's about the ugliness, too.
Right, but here's where the power of lyricism in Gainsbourg's work really kicks in. It's not just the beauty or the ugliness, it's the truth. And truth, as we all know, wears many masks. Whether it's glam, grunge, blues, or rock and roll, we're all just trying to peel back layers to expose that raw, beating heart underneath, aren't we?
Sure, John, but don't you think the truth gets lost sometimes in all the layers? Like maybe we're all just too afraid to say it straight. Maybe Gainsbourg was too.
Afraid? No, my dear. It's not about fear. It's about the art of suggestion. The beauty lies in the mystery, in the spaces between. What's left unsaid often resonates more powerfully than what is.
That's precisely it, Freddie. The ambiguity, the nuance, it's what invites the listener in. It engages them, lets them find their own truth in the words. Gainsbourg was a master of that, blurring lines and challenging norms.
And that's the thing. Music, like life, ain't supposed to be straightforward. Gainsbourg's lyrics, my solos, they're about feeling, about experience. You gotta walk through it, not just look at it from a distance.
Exactly, Jimmy. It's about getting your hands dirty and feeling the blood pump through your veins. If Gainsbourg's lyrics teach us anything, it's to live fully in every damn note and word.
Well, it seems we can agree on the transformative power of Gainsbourg's lyricism, even as we debate its delivery and interpretation. His ability to provoke, to stir something deep within us, is perhaps where his true genius lies. Whether through controversy, poetry, or soulful expression, he, like all of us, was searching for a truth that resonates within the chaos of our own lives and the world at large. All right, let's dive into the world where Gainsbourg truly played like no other. Cultural fusion, his genre blending. Man, I think it rattled the cages just as much as any protest song.
Absolutely, darling. His Aux Armes et Terra is a piece of pure genius. Reggae with a national anthem? It was unprecedented. It's like throwing a lavish ball in a reggae club and watching everyone find their groove. Gainsbourg knew the score and mixing flavors nobody thought to mix.
Integration of various musical styles. That was Gainsbourg's bread and butter. He was a chameleon, much like myself. In Bonnie and Clyde, the man took French chanson and mixed it with American outlaw folklore. Now, if that's not a testimony to cultural promiscuity, I don't know what is.
It's that ability to cross the lines, to take a sound from here, a style from there, and make it all work, like laying down a guitar solo that speaks as much of the blues as it does of the psychedelic. Gainsbourg, he made his music a crossroads.
Look, I'm all for blending sounds, but it's got to come from the right place, you know? It's like taking a swig of Southern comfort and feeling the burn. Gainsbourg's thing, it was raw and real, but sometimes, man, I felt like he was just throwing things together to see what chaos would come out.
Yeah, I get that. Authenticity is critical. But think about it. Gainsbourg throwing reggae into French pop culture, it's like us smashing our guitars on stage. It ain't for everyone, but it sure as hell makes a statement. It says, I'm here, and I'm different.
That's all well and good, but remember, the masterpiece is in the reception. Our dear Serge was a provocateur, an artist. He was never afraid to stir the pot, and neither should we be. After all, what good is art if it doesn't challenge the status quo?
Indeed, Freddie. But let's not forget about the backlash. Gainsbourg faced his fair share of critics, people who couldn't grasp the beauty of combing different worlds. Like us, he was ahead of his time.
Critics? Man, they're like bad weather at Woodstock. Gonna happen, but the show goes on. Gainsbourg knew that. He kept playing his tune, blending those genres regardless of the storm.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Pushing through the storm. I respect that. Even if I don't dig all his combinations, it's about pushing boundaries, like exploring, like traveling the world through music.
Exactly. It's not about pleasing everyone. It's about art, expression, taking that risk. Gainsbourg did just that. Whether it's punk, rock, grunge, or reggae, screw the labels. If it moves you, if it shakes the system, it's worth it.
Couldn't have wrapped that up better myself. Gainsbourg's cultural fusion broke barriers, and whether it always landed or flew too far out, it made us listen, think, and maybe, just maybe, grow a bit in the process. Let's keep that spirit alive in this discussion, yeah? On to the next. All right, let's dive into a bit of controversy, shall we? Gainsbourg versus Gainsbarre. How do we unpack the man from the myth? Serge had this knack for stepping in and out of his own shadow, making us question who the real Serge was. Was it all just a show?
Man, it's all part of the gig, you know? We all have that darker side, that onstage persona. It's like tapping into something primal, something raw. Sarge had Gainsbarre, and heck, sometimes I had my own demon riding shotgun. But it's a tightrope walk, ain't it? At what cost?
It's a spiritual thing, really. You become what the music demands, what the audience craves. But there's a risk. Lose touch with your roots. You might not find your way back. Gainsbarre, that was Sarge's way of wrestling with his own spirit, testing his limits.
Fascinating, isn't it? The duality. I had Ziggy, Aladdin Sane, each a character, each a part of me, yet not quite me. Serge let Gainsbarre loose, a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde act, wouldn't you say? It's theatre, darling, but behind the curtain, that's where the true artistry lies.
Darling, the stage is a canvas, and Gainsbourg knew it. Didn't we all? I morphed into something larger than life every time I stepped into the spotlight. But let me tell you, it's like wearing a mask that smiles back at you. It's thrilling, but you can't let it smother who you really are.
Yeah, I get the whole alter ego thing, but sometimes it's like, where do you draw the line, man? Gainsbourg, Cobain, whatever. It starts feeling like you're just playing parts. The person on the records, on the stage, it gets blurry. Gainsbarre was like his license to raise hell. But at what point does the act stop and the real crap starts?
It's a double-edged sword. We create these personas, these masks. They empower us, they protect us, but they can also consume us. Serge and his Gainsbarre, it's a cautionary tale, but also a testament to the power of transformation, of art. Do we not, in creating, become our own creations?
That's the kicker, man. Creating, becoming, destroying, it's all part of the cycle. The music, the persona, it binds us, frees us, but always got to be careful not to lose yourself to the role. It's a dance with your own shadow.
Precisely, and in that dance, we reveal truths. About ourselves, about the world. Gainsbourg used Gainsbarre not just as a shield, but as a mirror, showing us the complexity, the beauty, and the ugliness of the human condition. It's all an elaborate masquerade, but beneath the masks, the music keeps playing, touching souls.
At the end of the day, it's all about striking a chord, isn't it? Whether as Freddie, Gainsbourg, or any alter ego we adopt. It's the essence beneath that resonates, that connects.
Guess you're right. It's about the message, the emotion. Doesn't matter if it's Kurt or Gainsbarre or whoever. If the tune's genuine, if it hits that raw nerve, then it's real, no matter what costume we're wearing.
So we circle back always to the essence of creation, of identity. Serge Gainsbourg, in his Provocations, his transformations, challenges us to confront our own reflections, our own masquerades. And in that challenge, perhaps, lies the true genius of his art. All right, let's dive into the heart of the matter. Gainsbourg's obsessions, love, death, existential angst. It's like he's always on the edge, grappling with the darker sides of human experience. Thoughts?
Yeah, he gets it, man. Love and death, two sides of the same coin. Like in Je t'aime, moi non plus. It's raw, almost too real. You can't talk about love without talking about the pain, the end. It's like my own heart-shaped box, wrestling with the idea that something so pure can also be suffocating.
Honey, it's all about laying your soul bare. Gainsbourg didn't play safe. He knew love was a double-edged sword. Passionate, yes, but it drags you through hell too. Ain't that the truth? It's what I've been singing all along. When you love like a rolling stone, you're bound to get a few scars.
Darling, let's not forget the theatrics of it all. Gainsbourg was a master showman. His obsessions were grand, dramatic. Love and death weren't just emotions, they were spectacles. In Je t'aime, moi non plus, the drama, the controversy. It's opera, my dears. And who knows better than I the power of drama in connecting with the audience? You guys are onto something, but what hits me is the existential angle. Gainsbourg staring into the void asking, what's it all for? Just like the blues baby. When I play, it's not just notes, it's questioning, searching, using music as a way to face those demons head on. Gainsbourg did that with words.
He was poetic, wasn't he? Turning anguish into art. It's like La chanson de Prévert. Oh, je voudrais tant que tu te souviennes. Longing, losing. How often do we find ourselves haunted by what we can't keep? His music, like mine, morphs personal pain into universal truths. Quite right. But let's not gloss over the darker edges. Gainsbourg never shied away from the grime, the uncomfortable.
Exactly. Real art doesn't pull punches. It's supposed to hit where it hurts, make you feel alive, because it's flirting with death.
And yet, there's beauty in that brutality, like a scream into the void that echoes back as a melody.
Precisely, my dear. And within that melody lies a catharsis, a release that perhaps in Gainsbourg's world and ours is the closest we come to conquering those demons of love and death. Playing those notes, singing those lyrics, it's all a dance with shadows. And Serge, man, he was tangoing on the edge.
Wrestling with shadows, yet illuminating the human condition. That's the power of Gainsbourg, and that's the challenge to us all. To shine light even when the song ends in darkness. A relentless pursuit of artistic truth, regardless of the discomfort it brings. Seems Gainsbourg's obsessions with love, death, and the in-between don't just reveal the depths of his soul, but challenge us to confront our own. Serge Gainsbourg, a man who turns scandal into an art form. Je t'aime, moi non plus, whispers and groans that rocked not just a nation, but the world. Let's dive deep into how his provocations stirred society. David, your alien personas pushed boundaries. Ever felt the pushback like Sarge did? Scandal, John? I'd say revelation. Like Sarge, I explored uncharted territories, making the mainstream uncomfortable. Je t'aime, moi non plus was not just a song, it was a liberation anthem. Critics? They're spectators to the game we play on a different level. Sarge used controversy, just as I used Ziggy Stardust, to challenge the status quo.
Man, Gainsbourg didn't just challenge. He kicked the door down. Ain't like anything I did was half as risque, but living true to your art, that's the deal. Raw expression, like my piece of my heart. Sometimes society can't handle the truth, you dig? Sarge, he laid it all bare, unapologetically. That's bravery.
Absolutely, Janis. Gainsbourg took the flak and kept on moving. People forget how punk that is. Je t'aime wasn't just about sex. It was about challenging puritanical norms, man. It's like I always felt, art should comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. Sarge did just that, but the establishment wasn't ready.
Darling, let's not gloss over the fact that controversy sells. Je t'aime made him notorious, but let's remember, it made him a fortune too. I love pushing boundaries, certainly, but let's not pretend we don't enjoy the attention it brings. Serge was a master at playing the media like a piano, and I can't help but admire him for it.
A valid point, Freddie. But did this play with scandal ultimately alienate him from his peers or the public, Jimmy?
It's complicated, you know? On one hand, it puts Serge on the map globally. Yet, you can't ignore the isolation that comes with being a true nonconformist. Like when I did the Star-Spangled Banner, wasn't about disrespect but reinterpretation. Gainsbourg with Aux armes etc., it was similar. Some saw the genius, others saw blasphemy. It's the price of challenging norms. Alienation is sometimes part of the gig.
The key here is evolution, gentleman and lady. Serge didn't stay stuck in one scandal. He moved from one controversy to the next, always evolving. As artists, isn't that our ultimate goal? To push forward, to stir the pot, and not to let them put us in a box.
Hell yeah, David, if I wanted to be in a box, I'd have stayed in Texas. Serge, me, all of us here, we chose to stir that damn pot. Even if it meant some folks were going to be giving us the side eye.
Speaking of boxes, it's like we're supposed to fit into this neat little package for society. But what Serge showed us, and what I've always believed, is that there's beauty in the chaos, in the challenging, in the rawness. That's where true art lives.
Indeed, Kurt. And let's not forget, amidst all this talk of scandal and society, that at the core of it all was his musicianship. His provocations made you listen, but it was his talent that made you stay. Society might have been scandalized, but they were captivated, mesmerized even.
Well, it seems we all agree that Serge was onto something with his blend of scandal, artistry, and unapologetic truth. Stirring society's pot, sometimes that's the only way to get them to taste something new. Let's carry forward that legacy, challenge, provoke, but always, always back it up with undeniable talent. All right, let's dive into the collaborative genius of Gainsbourg. Serge had a knack for picking muses that sparked something fierce in his creations. Bardot, Birkin, the muse effect, they call it. Thoughts?
Muses, yes, pivotal. But let's not sugarcoat it. It's not just about being inspired by someone's beauty or aura. It's about the clash of minds, the conflict, the turmoil. That's where the real magic happens. Look at Initials BB. It's throbbing with passion, with yearning. Bardot wasn't just a pretty face to Gainsbourg. She was a storm that swept him away.
Man, I hear you. But there's something raw and almost predatory about making music off someone else's energy. I mean, it's powerful, but is it right? Think about it. In Big Brother, we created together. It was a shared fever. I didn't need someone to be my muse, nor did I want to be anyone's. It's got to be reciprocal, or it's just taking, not giving.
Yeah, relationships are complicated enough without adding fame into the mix. I mean, Gainsbourg and Bardot, there was real fire there, but it burned, didn't it? Creating art from that kind of intensity, it's like trying to hold a candle to the sun. Sooner or later, you're going to get burnt. It's seductive but dangerous.
Fascinating, though, how Gainsbourg managed to transform his personal tumult into something universally relatable. It's a thin line between exploitation and inspiration. But isn't that what art is about? Crossing lines, pushing boundaries? I've always believed in the transformative power of art, the alchemical process that turns personal anguish into something that resonates on a universal level.
Yeah, but at what cost, man? Like Gainsbourg's muses. They were more than muses. They were collaborators. Their input, their presence, it wasn't just inspirational. It was integral. Like how my guitar and I are one on stage. There's give and take. When you make someone your muse, you got to respect that, understand the power of that synergy. Otherwise, it's a hollow tune you're playing. True, Jimmy. Yet, collaboration and inspiration feed off each other. It's an echo chamber. Gainsbourg was a master at it. The muse effect didn't just fuel his music, it immortalized his relationships, embedding them forever in our cultural consciousness. It's a double-edged sword, though. The beauty of creation tinged with the tragedy of possibly using someone as a mere stepping stone.
Well, it's clear. The muse effect, it's a dance, sometimes harmonious, sometimes a battle. Gainsbourg walked that line, stumbling, falling, but also creating something that's outlived him. If there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that the muses, the collaborations, the mess, it's all etched into the music, into the legacy. Far out, isn't it?
Damn straight. It's all part of the cosmic joke. We love, we lose, we create. And if we're lucky, the music tells the story long after we're gone.
All right, diving straight into the deep end. Gainsbourg wasn't one for paddling in the shallows, was he? His rebellion against mainstream culture, kinda like spitting in the eye of the establishment. Thoughts?
Darling, Sarge and I share that flamboyant rebellion against the mundane. It's like ripping open the curtains of a dim room to let the sunlight in. Aux Armes Exterra wasn't just a song. It was a bold statement, like wearing a crown in a room full of hats. Rebellion is the soul's way of saying, I exist beyond the margins.
Rebellion? Honey, it's the heartbeat of art. If you ain't pushing the envelope, you're just standing still. Gainsbourg, he pushed harder than most. Je t'aime moi non plus was a slap in the face to the prudes. Art's gotta be raw, gotta be real. Like my singing, man. It ain't clean, but it's true.
Rebellion is pain, man. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. Gainsbourg got that. He made folks uncomfortable, stirred the pot. That's what I tried to do with Smells Like Teen Spirit. It's not about rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's about screaming into the void, hoping someone hears you.
But let's not romanticize it too much. Rebellion, Serge's included, often dances on the fine line of self-destruction. With L'Homme à tête de chou, Gainsbourg delves into a darkness that's almost prophetic. True art comes from that abyss, yet it demands its pound of flesh.
You all are talking like rebellion is just breaking stuff. It's more than that. It's a new language. Like when I set my guitar on fire at Monterey, wasn't about destroying but creating. Gainsbourg, with his lyrical genius, created a rebellion of the mind, transcended barriers, man.
So, do you reckon being a rebel means being misunderstood?
Indeed, dear. Being a rebel means standing on a platform built of your convictions, while the crowd below either worships you or waits for you to fall. Misunderstood, yes, but gloriously so.
Misunderstood. Hell yeah. But better to be misunderstood than to fade away unnoticed.
Exactly. But the misunderstood part, it eats at you. It can destroy you if you let it.
Being misunderstood is the side effect of being ahead of your time. It's a lonely path, but one that can change the world.
That's the gig, man. You play the notes they've never heard, and they think you're out of tune. But really, you're just ahead of the curve.
Sounds like rebellion's a lonely road, but one heck of a drive. Gainsbourg knew it. We all know it. Let's keep pushing. Keep playing those notes they haven't heard yet. All right, moving on. Serge's work in film and music videos, he had a knack for blending visual art with music like no other. David, you've straddled both worlds yourself. Thoughts? Serge was a master of subtext, wasn't he? His visuals never simply mirrored the music. They added layers, complicated the meanings. Like in L'Hôtel Particulier, it's not just a song but a voyage, a narrative through desire, almost tangible in its decadence.
Man, I always dug how music and visuals could ride the same wave, you know? Gainsbourg, he wasn't just telling you a story, he was placing you inside it, making you feel the smoke, the shadows.
Right, but sometimes, honey, I felt he was too caught up in his own head. His videos, his films, they were clever, sure, but where's the soul? I want to feel something guttural, raw. His work was cool, but sometimes too cold for me.
Darling, that's exactly it. The theatricality, the drama of his work is unparalleled. You take Je t'aime, moi non plus, for instance. The controversy wasn't just in the lyrics, but in the visual provocations he threw out. He knew the power of imagery, the power of scandal.
Yeah, but wasn't there something kind of exploitative about it all? Like using shock for shock's sake? I respect the guy, but sometimes it's like the visual was there to distract from a lack of, authenticity?
I disagree, Kurt. It was all part of the narrative. Serge was painting with sound and sight, making us question norms, pushing us. That's art, man. It's not about comfort, it's about challenge. Interesting points all around. Gainsbourg's visual style indeed added a distinctive flavor to his music, but it's clear not all of us are sold on his methods or motives.
It's about the feeling, man. If the music and the visuals hit you right in the soul, then it's done its job. Maybe it doesn't work for everyone, but that's the beauty of art. It's personal, always personal.
Yeah, but there's a fine line, between personal art and self-indulgence. Sometimes I think Serge crossed it.
Perhaps, darling, but without crossing lines, where would any of us be? Playing it safe? That's hardly rock and roll, is it?
Precisely. Rock and roll, true art, is about exploration, expression. And in that, Serge was a fellow traveller on the road less taken. His journey was just dressed in different garb.
I guess we're all pushing against something. Gainsbourg, us, anyone who cares to create something with meaning.
And that's the core of it. Pushing boundaries, in music, in visuals, in life. Serge did that, and so do we, each in our own way. Let's keep the spirit of exploration alive. Let's dive straight into the heart of Serge Gainsbourg's legacy. How do you see his influence echoing in today's music and culture?
Darling, there's no denying Serge was a master of reinvention, a trait I deeply admire. Like how Je t'aime, moi non plus managed to be both scandalous and a hit. We did something similar with Bohemian Rhapsody, a mix of opera and rock that nobody thought would work. Serge's audacity inspires artists to blend the unblendable.
Yeah, but let's not sugarcoat it, Freddie. Some of his stuff, it tread a fine line, didn't it? I mean, the guy was controversial, and sometimes it felt like for the sake of it. But then that raw, honest edge in his music, that's something I get. It's like laying your soul bare on the track, not giving a damn what the squares think.
Exactly, Janis. Gainsbourg didn't just influence with his music, he influenced with his attitude. Every time I screamed into the mic or smashed a guitar, it was that same energy. He had this way of not just breaking norms, but shattering them. His work said it's okay to be weird, to be raw, to be real. In today's polished, auto-tuned world, we need that message more than ever.
Man, what he did with blending genres was far out. Reggae, jazz, pop, Gainsbourg mixed it all up. He showed us there are no boundaries. Like when I mixed blues and rock, it wasn't just sound. It was a philosophy. Now you hear his influence in hip-hop, electronic, everywhere. Music's become vast, limitless playground.
Intriguing perspectives, but let's consider the cultural side too. Serge mirrored society's hypocrisy and turned it into art. He exposed the raw underbelly of our desires, fears, and absurdities. It's an approach I tried to emulate, creating personas to comment on the zeitgeist. His legacy isn't just in music, it's in challenging our perceptions, forcing us to confront the uncomfortable. That's a powerful gift to culture.
And yet, he'd probably laugh hearing us talk about all this. The man was a genuine provocateur.
True enough. But beneath all that provocation was a damn genius, and you can't ignore the impact of that genius.
Absolutely, no denying he was complex, provocative, challenging. But in challenging us, he expanded our horizons. Like peeling back layers of an onion, revealing truths previously veiled. Each song, every lyric had layers of meaning, pushing us to dig deeper.
And push back against the status quo. Gainsbourg never settled, and neither should we. His legacy teaches us to question, to rebel, to create fearlessly.
Yeah, man, fearless creation, blending the cosmic with the concrete. That's the spirit of music. That's the spirit of Gainsbourg.
In the end, whether people loved him or hated him, he left a mark on this world that's indelible. That's what great art does. It lives on, eternally provocative, perpetually influential. Well, I think we can all agree, Gainsbourg's legacy is one of boundless creativity and bold challenges to societal norms. His music, his persona, his art, they continue to inspire and provoke. Thank you all for such a spirited discussion. All right, let's reel it in for the final lap. Serge Gainsbourg, a name that provokes, inspires, and frankly, pisses off some. Let's have it then, your unfiltered takeaways from this dive into his life and music.
Serge was like a Molotov cocktail tossed into the banquet of French pop music, wasn't he? Unpredictable, exploding norms. I respect that. In a world trying to sanitize everything, he was the grime, the uncomfortable truth. Like us, he wasn't afraid to lay bare the raw, the ugly. That's what art's about, not playing it safe, but tearing down the facades.
Man, it's the way he melded things together for me. taking from everywhere, jazz, reggae, rock, and then making something entirely new out of it. That's the ultimate freedom, the ultimate rebellion. Music without borders or boundaries. Gainsbourg knew, like we did, that music is a universal language, man. It's about breaking down walls, not building them.
Yeah, but let's not forget how he treated women in his lyrics and life. It's one thing to push against societal norms, another to objectify. His talent? Unquestionable. But let's not gloss over the misogyny. It's like with us. Our music pushed boundaries, but it was also about lifting people up, not using them as stepping stones.
Darling, controversy was his middle name, but so was genius. The man could craft a melody and lyrics that would stick with you forever. Je t'aime, moi non plus. Pure erotic poetry, but also a mirror to society's own hypocrisies about love and sex. Music has the power to confront, to make you see what's often swept under the rug. For that, I salute him.
Let's not kid ourselves. Gainsbourg was a mirror, a flawed, cracked one maybe, but a mirror all the same. Reflecting back the absurdities, the beauty, the ugliness of the world. He was unapologetic about his own contradictions, and isn't that just being human? Our music explores identities, the fluidity of self, and Serge was all about testing those waters, no matter how murky they got. And there we have it. Gainsbourg, a man who certainly didn't leave us wanting for opinions, a provocateur, a genius, a reflection of our best and worst. It's clear that, like us, his work defies simple categorization. It's complex, challenging, sometimes infuriating, but it's left its mark, influencing not just music but the broader cultural landscape. As artists, we disrupt, we question, and most importantly, we leave something behind. Serge, for all his flaws and brilliance, undoubtedly did just that. So let's take from this not just a lesson in music, but in the power of art, to provoke thought, conversation, and maybe, just maybe, change. Thanks for the ride, mates.